Now, إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفر ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Today we are on, what is this, lesson 8? Lesson, oh, I'm doing backwards. How do you write? Lesson 8 in the Arabic language. Arabic. And that would be Ad-Darsu Thamina. Ad-Darsu Thamina. Ad-Darsu Thamina. Okay? And last week, well, just to remind everybody, the way the poem goes, and we review this every time so that we can be consistent in reviewing it, and it becomes over and over in our head. إِنَّ الْكَلَامَ عِنْدَنَا فَلْتَسْتَمِعْ لَفْظٌ مُرَكَّبٌ مُفِيدٌ قَدْ وُضِعْ أَقْسَامُهُ الَّتِي عَلَيْهَا يُبْنَى اسم وفعل ثم حرف معنى فالاسم بالخفض وبالتنوين أو دخول الأل يعرف فقف ما قفا وبحروف الخفض وهي من وإلى وأن وفي وربا وعلى والكاف واللام واو وتا ومذ ومنذ ولعل حتى. That's where we are today. Okay? So last week we went over, it said, and we went over how the Arabic language is going to go. Where are we in the Arabic language? How many words, types of words does it have in the Arabic language? Three types. What are the names of those three types? Ismun, fi'lun, and a harfun, right? Okay, what is an ismun? Super? Noun. Why?
Because it includes descriptions.
Right, so it's a person, place, thing, and description. For those who don't know what a description is, give me a description word. Good. Big. Beautiful. There you go. These are description words. Okay? What is a fi'lun? A verb. What is a verb? Action word, right? Dun, 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 action word. Give me an action.
Eat.
What's that?
Eat.
Eat. Okay. Eat is an action word. What types of action words are there? How many types of action words? Three types. What are they?
Immediate.
Immediate. There's an immediate action word, right? What is that called, though?
Amara.
An order. An amr, an order, right? Amr, an order. Okay? What is the other type of action word?
The past.
Past tense, right? What is, give me a past tense for eat? Ate, okay? And what's the other type of action word? Present slash future, right? And give it to me. What's the word? Eating. Because you're doing it now, and as we're in there now, we're going into the future. Right? So now, what's this harf? What is it? What type? How many types are there?
3 types.
There are 3 types of harf, right? What are the 3 types? Basic letters. Like what? What do we call that? Abjad. Abjad, right? Abjad. Hawaz. Huttiya. Kaliman. Sa'fas. Kurishat. Fakhid. Dadid. That's the abjadiyya, right? What is the other one?
The letters with meaning.
Letters with meanings. And those are, well, how do we remember those? Today I forget it. اليوم نسيتها. نعم. اليوم سألتمونيها. You know, you asked me them. This rums, this code that I gave you, believe it or not, many students learning the Arabic language don't know that code. Okay? It should become second nature with us. Okay, so when you get there, you won't be stuck. Sa'altumuniha. When we get there, you're going to say, oh. But that's words like, or letters like Mu. That's letters like A, right? That's letters like Ta. These are letters that are by themselves singular in form, but they have a meaning. And the meanings of these could be whole words or complete sentences, right? Because they imply certain things. Okay? So those are letters with meanings. And what's the third one over here? Connectors. Connectors. And these are the ones that most people call harf. See, every time I tell you a different way. These are the ones, when they say harf, most people think of the connectors. Today, as we study the poem, we're going to deal with connectors. Okay? Today, we're going to learn all the connectors with regards to this ismun. Okay? As being letters to help you recognize what an ismun is. Okay? One of the signs, one of the ways you can recognize an ismun is through the connectors. The presence of a connector, a harf, before connector, right here, an ismun. A connector, only a connector can come before an ismun. Right? A connector won't come before an action word. Connector will not come before an action word. What's an action word called? Fi'lun. So you will never ever see a connector presenting itself before an action word. Do you understand that? You might see a connector before another harf, but that's rare. Okay, it's rare. It means it happens not often. But so the rule is that it doesn't happen. Okay? It's like running a red light. You can sometimes get away with running a red light, right? Yes. If it happens right as you're going, you can get away, but they won't give you the ticket. Likewise, sometimes you can put a connector in front of another connector. Very what? Rarely. So the rule is that it's very rare that you see a connector. Whenever you see it, that's why I'm writing this one in red, before a harf, another connector, it should throw up the red flag. You say, hold on. And you should check if that's correct or not. You understand that? It may be okay, but it should throw up the what? The red flag. Should make you very aware. Yes, ma'am.
At some point, can you write the letters?
All of them?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
I was going through my notes and I don't have them.
I know you don't have them. I intentionally did not write them all. I am teaching them to you one word at a time. You should know by now the first word, which is abjad. Everybody say that.
Abjad.
Abjad. That's an abjad. Abjad. Because we know how to pronounce a now, right? A. The mouth goes down, the chin goes down, and the lip goes up. A. Not wide, not sideways. A. And I want to mention, before I was listening to the CD for Jim, and I said the middle of the tongue, I mean the width wide of the tongue, not the center part, the width of it, for those who can't see the video. Okay? I just wanted to make mention of that. So, this is where we're at. So today we're going to talk about the connectors. Can we get the spray? Oh, here it goes. Can I erase the board? All right. Just so we know what we're doing, we're going to go now back to the poem. Recite the poem to me. In al-kalam. عليها يبنى اسم وفعل ثم حرف معنى فالاسم بالخفض وبالتنوين أو دخول يعرف فقف ما خفوا أو ما خفوا. That's a خفوا. Listen, I really have to emphasize over and over again that you have to memorize, and the memorization cannot be shaky. The work of a talib al-ilm is memorization. That is the basis of your whole thing. You may not understand anything, but if you memorize, when you come to class, it will make sense. Even if it doesn't make sense the first time, the second time. But if you got the memorization down, when the teacher hears you recite it, he does things or she does things to get you to understand it. But if you don't have the text memorized, then there's nothing that you're working with. You know, because that's what we're working with. We're working with a particularized text. And it's in your head, and we're doing things to make it understandable for you. But if the text is not there, what are we working with? What are we working with? Nothing. Nothing at all. So you have to have the text over, and it rhymes, you know, and it's not anything that anybody before you has not had to memorize. Everybody before us has had to memorize the same things. Okay, so here we are. It says, إِنَّ الْكَلَامَ عِنْدَنَا فَلْتَسْتَمِعْ. The fact is that speech, according to who? The scholars of what? Grammar. إِنَّ الْكَلَامَ عِنْدَنَا فَلْتَسْتَمِعْ. So listen up. So if you want to know what speech is according to the scholars of grammar, what do you have to do? فَلْتَسْتَمِعْ. You have to listen up, right? And listening is different from hearing, because we hear the noise out in the street, but we're not listening to it, right? When we listen, we pay attention. فَلْتَسْتَمِعْ. لَفْظٌ مُرَكَّبٌ مُفِيدٌ قَدْ وُضِعَ. It is a sound that you throw off your tongue. Murakkabun, that is compiled, meaning one over another, more than one sound, two sounds or more, right? Implied or literal. Lafdun murakkabun mufidun, beneficial. Min haythu, from the way that the listener is not listening for more in order to understand the objective of the speaker. In fact, he has benefited. Get the point? He's benefited enough from the sound of the speaker's voice that he doesn't have to hear anymore. He understands. That's what we say is beneficial. Murakkaru mufidun qad wudi. And it is already, wudi means placed and put grammatically in Arabic's own form, in the grammatical form of Arabic. And also it means qasd, intention, niyyah. That the person intended to speak at that time, and he wasn't sleeping or any of the conditions that would make it invalid for someone to speak, like a drunk person or someone on drugs to the point where they don't know what they're talking about, or someone in the throes of death. The types of speech that it is built, the format that it is built upon, speech is built upon what? Ismun, fi'lun, wa harfun. Is built on those four things. The foundation for all speech are those three types of words, right? They're not particular words, but they're three types of words. That's why we redundantly beat it in the head, that there is an ismun, which is a what? This is not San Diego, Dora, the explorer. It is super noun, a powerful noun, okay? And they have a fi'lun, which is an action word, and a harfun, which are three things. The one that most commonly is known as are connectors. There's three things, but the one they are most commonly known as are, and that's what we're dealing with today. Okay? Today we're dealing with the connectors. Now the connectors are called what in Arabic? Harf. What is it called? It's called a harf. And it's called a harf because it's so small. A harf is very tiny. Okay? Harf for something is like the edge of it. That's what it literally means. The reason why it's called a harf, because it's the smallest type of word. It usually has 2 or 3 letters, no more. Whereas the origin of Arabic words may be 3 letters, they're always built upon. Okay? Those 3 letters, so they make 4 letters, 5 letters, 6 letters. Where harf is just 3 or 2 letters at the most. That's why it's called a harf. And it does not change like all the other letters. Now, there are different types of harf. Different types of harf. The harf that we're going to deal with today, and I'll explain. We already said what connectors are. Connectors are like from, to, under, above, in, around. You know, those are connectors. those words that don't have a meaning in and of themselves, rather they point to a meaning in other words, and they're not connected to. You see how you guys are putting this together now? You know this. If you know it, then I can just help. You can help me put it together for you. So based on understanding that a connector are those types of words that don't have a meaning in and of themselves, they're dependent on other words to fulfill the meaning that they come with, right? So we know that the connectors are dependent. And so we know that in our own language, what type of words are those? Those are the same words in the Arabic language. We together? Okay, now the ones we're dealing with regards to an ismun. The connectors come before, then ismun, they're called harful khafdi. Say harf or say huruful khafdi. Huruful khafdi. Huruful khafdi. I'll write it out in transliteration. Huruful khafdi. Huruf is the plural of harf. And khafdi is to be something's low. Okay? It represents the kesra or what comes in place of the kesra. So what does that mean? That these harf, and we talk about a kesra, we let you know earlier that a word has 3 points, right? 1, 2, 3. The last radical, each one of these is called a radical, a part of the word. The last one, that's the one that in grammar we deal with. We don't care about anything over here. In grammar, we deal with the happenings, the changes. Because remember, we talked about grammar before. The definition of grammar in Arabic is the science through which we learn and understand what's happening in a sentence based on the changes that are occurring at the end of the word. This is the end of the word. What are the changes? A fatha, a dhamma, a kasra. Dhammatan, which is 2 dhammas, or fathatan, or kasratan. All these things that happen on the last radical make a difference with regards to what, and explaining to us and making us understand what's happening in this sentence. Okay? Also, the placement of the word in the sentence lets us know what's going on in the sentence. Grammar is the science where we study the sentence based on the words in the sentence. Whereas sarf, etymology, is the study where we study the science through which we study the word to understand that particular word before entering it into a sentence. You see the difference? So grammar is more general, right? It covers a big space. But sarf, as I told you before, I believe sarf should be studied first. Because you don't know words, you can't put them in a sentence if you don't know what they mean. We're doing both, we just don't realize it. Okay? So, as you increase your vocabulary, you increase your ability to make sarf. Okay, so that's how it goes. It's a subtle thing. Anyway, so understand the changes that happen at the end of the word. Now, this is a process, and you got to watch it, because remember, it's science. Boy, you got to sit down, can't keep running back and forth. Okay? So look, what affects this word? What affects this word are the huruf al-khafti that come before it. Note, let's say this is a word. Okay? This is a word. Don't worry about what's over here. But at the end of every word, the asl, the origin of that word, should be a dhamma or 2 dhammas. Okay? You with me? Yes. If it has alif wal lam, then it should be just 1 dhamma. If it doesn't have an alif wal lam, it should have 2 dhammas. Okay? That is the asl. Whenever you see a word, assume at the end of it is what? A dhamma or a dhammatan, right? That is the way it's, if it doesn't have, no, I'm stopping my feet. If it doesn't have a dhamma or a dhammatan at the end of the word, something is affecting that word in grammar. Because the asl, the origin of the word, is that it should have what? Louder. And I just want to make another note in Islamically. When I'm stomping my feet like this, I'm not doing that thing that some, kafirs, they knock on wood. They say knock, knock wood, right? That's not what I'm doing. I'm stomping my feet to gain attention to the point. Knocking on wood comes from the tradition of people worshiping imps. You know what an imp is? An imp is a small jinn. He's about the size of a child. That's very mischievous. Dr. Seuss loves to put imps in his books. In Thing 1 and Thing 2, if you read his little crazy books, he always has these little types of jinns in there. But this is a jinn, and the kuffar in Europe, they used to go to trees when they wanted something to happen and knock on. They believed that these imps lived in the trees and knock on wood and say they were going to do something, either seeking the permission of the imp not to do any mischief with them, or knocking real loud, some of them, so that the imp wouldn't hear what they were saying. So this is from their kufr, and it's been introduced into the American culture, as a lot of them come from that thing, and a lot of people do it now, not really knowing what it is. But it is an act of kufr and shirk, actually. So be careful, because you see even some Muslims who don't know any better, they do that, But I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm doing this to make you know, hey, pay attention. At the end of a word, it should be what? Right, and if it doesn't have dhamma or dhammatan, what is the rule? Something's affecting that word. You know that. That is a lot to know. Start there. Write it down as a rule. The asl for an ismun is that it has dhamma or dhammatan. It has dhamma if it has an al in front of it. And it has dhammatan if it doesn't have al in front of it. It will not have al and dhammatan together. They do not go together. Just like you don't say the a. I was going to eat the apple. You either say the apple or an apple. Right? Yes? No? Maybe? Okay. So just likewise, al means what in Arabic?
Al means the.
Okay, and the absence of al, dhammatan means a or an. It's in your notes, right? Okay, so that's what it means right here. Now, huruf al-khafti, well, let's see, there's min, ila, wa an, and fi. Okay, so there's a bunch of huruf al-khafti. Huruf al-khafti, what did we say khafti represents? Come on, pay attention, you got to be sharp here. It represents kasra or what comes in the place of kasra. Because not all the times does khafti mean kasra. But right now the main sign for khafti is what? Kasra. So, this khafti represents a rule, because the kasra is a rule. Okay? Everybody following me? Yes. These letters, these words, these connectors are particular to the rule called what? The khafti rule. They make the last radical on the word turn into what? Kasra or kasratan. That's what we're going to deal with today. Okay? So whenever you see one of these words, you will only see it before an ismun. Because the huruf don't come before an action word, right? Yes. Do they? No. And how often would you see a harf before another harf? Very rare. What should you do when you see a harf before another harf? Throw up the red flag, right? Check it out. Make sure it's supposed to be done that way. It happens, but it's just like running a red light, right? You can sometimes run the red light if you catch it right on time. And likewise, you can sometimes put a harf before another harf. It's in the Quran, hal fi dhalik. It's there. But rarely, min an. Sometimes it happens like that. But this construction is rare in Arabic. Okay? Now, you will see it in front of what? You will see a connector in front of what? No, an ismun. Okay, so now let's look at what these are and what's going to happen if you put it in front of an ismun? What's going to happen to that ismun? Go ahead, give it to me. I'm not listening to the imam. Go ahead, what do you guys say?
It's the rule of the harf.
What's going to happen to the end of the word?
Change it.
Change it from what to what? No, it's going to change it from Dhamma and make it into a Kesra. Okay? A harfu khafti, you guys follow me? No, boy, don't use that. Let me do it. A harfu khafti, a letter of khafti, here, use that. Thank you. We'll take a word that has a Dhamma at the end of it and change that Dhamma into what? Kesra, or if Kesratan. That is what's going to happen when you use a harfu khafti. And that's what I want you guys to understand today. If you understand that, then we get past a lot of different things. And I'm going to tell you all the harfu khafti in the whole Arabic language, and you will memorize them. Okay? They're very easy. Inshallah, you will memorize them. So, it says, إِنَّ الْكَلَامَ عِنْدَنَا فَلْتَسْتَمِعْ لَفْظٌ مُرَكَّبٌ مُفِيدٌ أَقْسَامُهُ الَّتِي عَلَيْهَا يُبْنَى اسم وفعل فالاسم. So an ismun is known. فالاسم بالخفض. What did we say? Did you hear yourselves? فالاسم بال وبالتنوين أو دخول ال يعرف فقف ما قفاه. You memorize that line. Now let's go over it. So an ismun is known by what? Al-khafdi. Meaning that if you see a letter of khafdi before, or harfu khafdi before a word, that word 99% of the time is a what? Ismun. Okay? Now let's learn what they are. So it says, فالاسم بالخفض وبالتنوين أو دخول الأل يعرف فقف ما قفاه وبحروف الخفض وهي من وحروف الخفض وهي من إلى it says من إلى وعن وفي من إلى وعن وفي وربا وبا وعلى وربا والباء وعلى والكاف واللام واو وتاء ومذ ومنذ ولعل حتى وَلَعَلَّ حَتَّى. Okay, these are the huruf al-khafdi. Let's go over it. Min, ila, an, fi, rubba, ba, ala, kaf, lam, waw, ta, mudh, ومنذ لعل حتى. Now I'll go over it with you. Min. Min means from. It means a lot of things, but we'll say from. Okay? Min bayt al-haram, or min bayti ila baytik. From my house, ila. Ila is nihaya. So min means beginning. A place of beginning. Okay? You began from some place. Ila means nihaya. That's where you ended up. Ila means to. Everybody say to. An. An means tajawwaz. Means to pass by something. You know, ramaytu an al-kawsi. You know, he threw it from the bow. Okay? Or falamma tajawwaza. When they pass. And, or we say on authority. An Abi Huraira. You know, it's passing through him. Okay? Then it says fi. Fi is the most used word in the whole Arabic language. Fi. It has many different meanings. The most famous of them is in. Okay? But it could mean around, regarding, it could mean a bunch of things. So, fi means in. Say rubba. Rubba means maybe. Rubbama. Okay? Maybe. Rubba rajulin salihin laqaytuh. Maybe I met a righteous man before. Rubba. And we say rubba is litaqleel wa takthir. It's for, because the maybe could mean maybe with a surety, and it could be maybe with, rare, nah, it ain't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's where you can use it. Like if the teacher is always on time, they say, Rubama, he'll be late. And you know he's never late. But maybe he'll be late. Or if you know he never's on time, you say, Rubama, he'll come on time. And you know he never comes on time. So you say that's for nadir, it's rare. Or if you say, maybe he'll come on time, and you know he always comes on time. So then that means more than likely he's going to show up on time, for example. You following me?
Yes.
Ba.
Ba.
Not like, say ba, no, ba. Ba here is the name of the letter. But the sound that it makes when you use it is bi. Okay? Billahi or Bismillah is a more famous usage of ba. Okay? Bismillah. Don't you see the kasra at the bottom of ism? That's an ismun, right? Yes. It says Bismillah. Right? Because the ba makes the ismun what? Kasra. You see that construction right there? Bismi. We're using this ba. Okay? Ala. Ala. Oh, and ba means a bunch of things too. Here in this case, it means utilizing. As a utensil, utilizing something. So ala. Ala means upon something. What does ala mean? Over some. Wa ala Allahi falyatawakkalun. And upon Allah we rely. We put our trust. Ala. Ala Allahi. You see the ala before Allah makes Allahu, Allahi. You understand that? Every time you see one of these words before another word, you know that that second word is an ism, and you know that the last radical on that word will carry what? Kasra or? Kasratan. Now, tanween kasra. You can say tanween kasra, you can say kasratan. Kilahuma, yani jay. Kaf. Everybody say kaf. Kaf means like something. Tashbih. It's similar. It's similar. You say Zaydun kal asad. Zayd is like a lion. Kal asadi. Right? Or you say laysa kamithlihi shay'un. Allah says in the Quran. Laysa kamithli. Right? Laysa kamithlihi. You see the kasra at the end of the word? No. You saying no?
No.
But do you understand that? Kasra. Can you say ka? But what comes up? Mithlihi. Kamithlihi. See the kasra here is because of this. Otherwise it would be mithlu. Right? Mithlu who? But when you put a kaf there, it's all of a sudden mithlihi. Okay? Does that make sense? Because kaf makes what comes at the end of it kasra. Or kasratan. Right? But not by choice. You can't just choose kasra or kasratan. There's rules to follow that. But we'll get to that later. Okay? Yes, sir.
What does that mean?
What? Kamithli, like similar to. It's a double emphasis on the absence of likeness. Okay? No way, shape, form, or fashion like. It's like that's the way you say it. He like some, you see siblings sometimes. They reject the idea that they're similar in any format, right?
No, I was asking you to see if.
I'm giving you an example of kamithlihi, its usage. So if you say, "Oh, Abdullah, you look like Amr," and Abdullah doesn't want to look like Amr, even though that's his twin brother. No, I'm not like laysa kamithlihi shay. He ain't nothing, no way like me. You understand? He's not like me the way he looks. He's not like me the way he acts and thinks, and the whole thing. That's what kamithlihi. So when you say laysa kamithlihi shay, it means there is nothing, any way, shape, form, or fashion like Allah. No, looks, acts, thinks, created. Allah's not created. So that's what that means. But you wanted to say?
No, the reason why I asked you that is because if it's an ism, then it has to be a description, and then I guess kamithlihi is some description of.
Well, mithli is similar to.
Right.
So is it a ismun or is it also like a harf? Why? It's describing something, right? Mithlihi, he. This is describing which is Allah. Okay.
The exact meaning of kaf is
Like.
like.
Similar to.
Similar to.
Okay. Le. Okay. Everybody say lam or le. Okay? You say lillahi. Okay? That means for or ownership. You know what I'm saying? That's lahu, for him. Who's this book? Hada li, it's for me. Okay? But this lam here, it means for. Okay? So you have it in lizaydin. Bari is lillahi. Ma fi samawati wa ma fi al-ard. Lillahi, which means possession. The one who this is for. Okay, and I don't want to confuse you. There's some rules to go with that because sometimes it's le and sometimes it's la. But don't worry about that right now. Right now, know it as li, as a kesra. And it makes what comes after it what? No, it doesn't make it an ismu. Whatever comes after it is an ismu. But what does it make the end of the word? Kesra. It makes the end of the word carry a kesra. Wa. Wa has to be distinguished and ta have to be distinguished as swearing. Okay? Everybody say, Wallahi. When you use that wa as a swear, when you say Wallahi, wala asri, all those wa, that is swearing, they have to make the word that comes after them carry a what? Kesra. Okay? You hear that? So all the time when you're in the Quran now, when you hear that وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبَحًا, right? So you see that kesra at the end? Why is it that way? Because that wow is in front of it. Okay? Everybody follow that? Does it start making sense now? You'll see it all over. And the ta also, but when you use ta, you can only use the name of Allah. Tallahi la'akidanna. Right? He says, Tallahi, I swear by Allah. Who said that? Ibrahim. He said that when the people went out to go do their thing with their, what do you call it, their idols. He said, I got a plan. Tallahi, I swear by Allah. See that? Everybody say, Tallahi. It's emphasis, it's swearing. I swear by Allah, I swear to God. You know, as the people say in New York. You know, they say that. So, mudh. Everybody say mudh. And stick your tongue out. Say mudh. Right, your tongue is a teeth and tongue letter, as Qasim Ahmed used to teach. Hafidhullah, one of the teachers back in the days. Mudh. Stick your tongue out. Mudh. Your tongue has to come between your teeth. Mudh. Wa mundhu. There's a rule in Arabic. The more letters, the more meaning. Mudh means since. Okay? Since. Right? I haven't seen you since yesterday. Mudh amsi. But that means for a short period of time. How long a period of time? First, let's go back to the rule. The rule I told you, more letters, more meaning. What is it? More letters, more meaning. Give me the rule again. More letters, more meaning. Learn the rules. You're getting them. You're getting them. You're getting them. Learn them. I'm not just talking here just to talk. You know? More letters, more meaning. You will use this rule again. Okay? سوف تستعمل هذه قاعدة مرة أخرى أو ستستعمله. I'm playing with you, but that's how you're going to use the rule again. Only the Sheikh understands that. Anyway, say mudh for a short period of time, since. Say it.
For a short period of time.
Now, mundhu is a since also. But what's the difference here? A long period of time. I haven't seen you mundhu asabi'. I haven't seen you for weeks. Okay, I haven't seen you in years. Mundhu zaman. Okay, for a long time. So it emphasizes, even if it hasn't been a long time, in Arabic, because Arabic is a very exaggerative language, you know, very expressive language, I should say, not exaggerative language, but it's very expressive. If you want to show somebody that you love them, and you haven't even seen them for an hour, you said, I haven't seen you mundu sa'. It's been a long time for me. Get it? That's how you express that. So when you go home and you see your wife say, I haven't seen you mundu sa', she's going to say, oh, tabarakallah. Just don't let her hear the tape because she's going to think it was original, you know. Well, in your case, anyway, so mudh wa mundhu, right? Since. Both of them mean since, but for different periods of time, okay? La'alla. Everybody say la'alla. Now la'alla, it means also, it means perhaps, okay? However, when Allah uses the word la'alla, it means definitely, okay? So, if Allah says, do this, لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ, if you do that, perhaps you will tuflihun, then you will be successful, right? What Allah means by that is that if you do that, not that perhaps, definitely you will, but in the language it means perhaps. And there's a rule in tafsir. Understand there's a rule in tafsir, even though we're not in tafsir class, but as a rule in tafsir, whenever the linguistic meaning does not correspond with the Sharia meaning, which one should you take?
Sharia.
Why?
Because Sharia have to be followed.
Why? Because the Quran or tafsir is to explain the Sharia, not to explain Arabic. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the meaning is going to be whatever the Sharia meaning is in a thing, not just the linguistic meaning. Okay? If there is contradiction. Does that make sense? I saw people looking for moths. Okay, we're good? Okay, so I mentioned that for this point because la'alla means perhaps, perhaps it means maybe, no. In that case, it means definitely, certainly, without doubt. Perhaps you didn't do it right. That's perhaps, that's the thing you need to look into. So la'alla. And here you have an old Arab poetry that says, لَعَلَّ اللَّهِ فَضَّلَكُمْ عَلَيْنَا بِشَيْءٍ أَنَّ أُمَّكُمْ شَرِيمًا. It's not a good thing to say. But there were two tribes. Because whenever you have a proof saying that something is, you can use this word or not, you have to bring proof. And it has to be from the language of the Arabs al-Qadim, old Arabs. And they have this line in poetry that says, there was one group of Arabs bragging against another group. People have been thinking they're better than other people for the longest time. Shaitan started it and everybody picked it up afterwards, So this one group were thinking that they were better than another group, right? And so the other group heard about that and they destroyed them with one line of poetry. And they said, perhaps Allah favored y'all, because they thought they were better. They said, perhaps Allah favored y'all over us in that your mothers were our, boom. And and then that line came out and everybody started to recite that line. And so now that Kabila no longer is looked upon as being better than anybody. You understand how it goes? But the point for us is to show that la'alla is used as a harful khafdi, as a letter, a harf that makes whatever comes after it carry the kesra. Okay? Does that make sense? Because that's the only proof that I know that you find in that way. From any of the scholars, they mention the same proof, and there might be others, but they establish it from that one. And hatta, what does everybody say? Hatta. Hatta is such a powerful word that they say it has so many meanings. Hatta. You know what I'm saying? So hatta, hatta means until, it means still, it means, like you say, hatta matla'il fajr. Don't you see it in the Quran? Hatta matla'il fajr. Huh? Even. It means even, which means still, hatta. You see the Mauritanians arguing all the time. They say, haq. He says, you're wrong. He says, haqbat. He says, hatta. It's still, when you're lying, you see how to say, hatta. So, meaning you're still a liar. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So, hatta. But when you use hatta, you see in the Quran, Allah says, hatta matla'il. The kasra, it brings kasra to a word. Not in all cases, because hatta is such a word that you'll find hatta make a fatha after a word. Hatta ra'sahu. When he says, akala samaka hatta ra'sahu. Even including his head. Okay, so that has to be looked into, but it's not the focus of this lesson. This lesson is to familiarize yourself just with these words, and for you to get the things that you need so that you can memorize these words. And in the poetry, it says, فَالِاسْمُ بِالْخَفْتِ وَبِحُرُوفِ الْخَفْتِ وَهِيَ مِنْ إِلَى وَأَنْ وَفِي وَرُبَّى وَبَّى وَعَلَى والكاف واللام وواو وتاء ومذ ومنذ ولعل حتى. Now follow with me. فالاسم بالخفض وبالتنوين أو دخول الال يعرف فقف ما خفاه وبحروف الخفض وبالحروف no I'm sorry وبحروف I'm sorry.
Maybe you write in English, no?
No. وبحروف الخفض. Somebody say خفض. وهي من إلى وعن من إلى وعن وفي ربا وعلى. No. I got to do this in Arabic. وحروف الخفض وهي من إلى وعن وفي وربا. You remember, you rather I say it, okay? Because, okay. وبحروف الخفض وهي من إلى وعن وفي وربا وبا وعلى وربا وبا وعلى. وبحروف الخفض وهي من إلى وعن وفي وربا وبا وعلى والكاف واللام واو وتاء ومنذ ولعل حتى. I got it, okay. وبحروف الخفض وهي من إلى وعن وفي وربا وبا وعلى والكاف واللام واو وتاء ومذ ومنذ ولعل حتى. Okay? And there is a poem in English that does this. I have it at my house. I'm going to bring it for you guys next week. It says, حروف الخفض, well, let's see, there's min, ila, wa, an, and fi, ruba, ala, then kaf, and lam, and then I don't know the rest of it. But I have it at the house. I just forgot to bring it for you guys. I think the other one might be easier for you guys to remember. But you got to memorize this anyway, because this is part of Al-Ajrumiyyah. So you're going to have to go through it anyway. Sometimes it's not good to do the English one. In the place of a classic, leave everything else alone and learn the classic. Okay? So just struggle through it. It's not hard. It's really rhymes. وبحروف الخفض وهي من إلى وعن وفي وربا وبا ولا والكاف واللام واو وتاء ومذ ومنذ ولعل حتى. Millions of people have learned this probably before you. It'll be easy for you. Spend 10 minutes on it and you'll get it. Recite it with me. وبحروف الخفض, with a loud sound. وبحروف الخفض وهي من إلى وعن وفي وربا وبا وعلى والكاف واللام واو وتاء ومذ ومنذ ولعل حتى. My teacher used to say it like that, so I say it like that. But you can say hatta, but he used to say hatta. That's just something they do in Mauritania. So learn it, and we're going to go on to the second part of our lesson. Okay? May I erase the board?
Can you explain the meaning of the ka again?
Ka means like, similar to. The tashbih. Okay? Zaydun kal asad. Or kal asadi, right? Or a better one would see laysa kamithlihi shay. Okay? Kamithlihi. Right. Yes, I'm listening.
Would you happen to have maybe a copy of this poem in Arabic?
Sure. I mean, you can. In fact, you can get it off the internet. It's. I mean, I'm sure you can. But I have a couple of copies of it in Arabic. I can bring it for you guys next week, or if you walk me home, I can give you a copy of it. You know, it's, okay, yeah, you can write this down. Maybe the Imam has a copy in the office. It's a classical text, well known by everybody. Do you have a copy of the Ajrumiyyah in there? Because if you have that book, Mutun, Al-Jami al-Mutun, it's in there. No, actually, no, it's not. The one, the Amriti one, the Yemeni one is in there. That's not this one. Yeah, you got to get this one from Mauritania. I don't think this in the... Most people have the other one. There's two classics with regards to Ajrumiyyah. There's a Nathar, and the Nathar is a prose. It means it's like regular speech. And then you have this one right here, which is poetry. Poetry is always easier to memorize than the prose. Because if you do the prose, it's like... أجرمي الكلام هو لفظ مركب مفيد بالوضع وأقسامه ثلاثة اسم وفعل وحرف جاء بالمعنى. And I don't even remember how it goes after that exactly. But it's kind of dull, you know, in memorization wise. Still the same thing, but this one it goes with beat. And the thing about poetry is you remember when you lost a piece. You understand what I mean? Because you say it'll go, oh, something's missing here.
It doesn't flow.
Right, it doesn't flow, and then you'll pick it up just by the rhythm, inshallah. Okay. Now today we are doing King Hawaz. Everybody say King Hawaz. King Hawaz. Okay? And Hawaz is basically Ha, Waw, and Zay. Okay? Ha, Waw, and Zay. Okay? Now, we're going to do the Ha first. If they're finished, you can erase this. Yeah, please. Go ahead. Now, this poem goes like this, and I guess the Imam can make copies. Hold on. I think the battery's running low on this thing. No, it's not running low. I just heard it beep, though. Maybe it's not recording. Oh, it's still recording. McKean don't like that. Okay, here we go. Follow me. Hurts a hurdle.
Hurts a hurdle.
That we see with Ha, the fifth in history. Yeah. Hold on, McKean. Could you check this? Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. It keeps beeping in my ear, man. Look.
Battery's good, man.
All right. Is this like?
What's that at the bottom?
I don't know. All right, I'll keep going. All right. Hurts a hurdle that we see with Ha, the fifth in history. It's from the throat. It's from where?
From the throat.
It's from the throat. The deepest part. We feel it most. Around the heart. With Hamsun. I have to get another pen here. Hello? Uh-oh. Went off, bro. Hey, it's not recording.
It's probably full.
Okay.
Erase something.
No, with Hamsun.
Well, you fix it. You erase something. Okay, ready? Okay. With Hamsun Rikhwun Istifal. Say it.
Say again, please.
Rikhwun Istifal. The Ha comes out. There's some batteries in here if you need batteries. And starts to swell with Fathun. Come on, everybody, recite. Samtun has complete, has replete. And with Idhar, the has complete. Now, I know you don't understand this. Don't get mad. You will understand it within the next 5 minutes. Okay? Listen, we can make copies of this too. Could you go get us make copies? 7 copies, 10, 20. Hurts a hurdle that we see with Ha, the fifth in history. Now, the way this poem starts, different from the other poems, is that this poem, he starts off by giving you words in English that are from the same makhraj and sifat of the word that the letter that you're trying to learn. Okay? You understand that? Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes.
Memory full, it says, bro. So what do you want me to do? Folder? Erase. How do you erase?
Go ahead, teacher Chris.
Okay. It says, okay, hurts a hurdle that we see with Ha, the fifth in history. So it starts off with giving you words that you already know with the same makhraj. Everybody say hurt. Say hurdle. Say history. Now say ha. You see that?
Yes.
You practice saying these words and you know how to say ha. Now say jalapeno. You hear that? That's the other ha. Say hot. You hear the difference? But here you say hurt. Say hurdle. Say history. You say heavy. Say health. Now say ha. You learn how to say this letter. Isn't that nice? So he says, hurt's a hurdle that we see with ha, the fifth in history. What do we learn here? Right, so we already know that this letter that we're looking for, what are we looking for here? We're looking for the tajweed rule, right? We're looking for the numeric value, right? We're looking for, what else are we looking for?
Makhraj.
The makhraj.
And description.
And a description. I threw it on the floor. It's right here in my pocket, I should say. And a description. This is what we're looking for, right? And now we got some words. Some words that are similar, that we already know, in order to pronounce this word correctly, this letter correctly, right? So it says, hurt's a hurdle that we see with ha, the fifth in history. So it's the fifth word. It's the fifth numeric value is 5, right? It's from the throat, the deepest part. Okay, where's it from? The throat. That's so the makhraj is gotten also. It's from the throat. The deepest part. Everybody say hurt. Feel your stomach. Say hurdle. Say history. Where's that sound coming from? Down. Ha. Now say ha. Now everybody say jalapeno. Ain't that up here? So you can't say, oh, it's the same thing. I can't tell there's too many H's in Arabic. No, there's not too many H's in Arabic. There's one ha sound in Arabic and then there's a ha sound in Arabic. They're not the same. Okay? Thank you. Shukran jazeelan. Hello? Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah. Can't hear. All right. Okay, cool. Shukran jazeelan. So, just to go over it again. Everybody say with me. Hurt's a hurdle that we see with ha, the fifth in history. It's from the throat, the deepest part. We feel it most around. With hamsun rikhun istifa, the ha comes out and starts to swell. With fathun samtun has replete. With it and with idhar, the has complete. So we're going to go over again. The first thing that he did in this case, he put words together that we know in English to help us learn the makhraj and the pronunciation of the letter ha. And we said hurt, hurdle, and history. Okay? And they come from the deepest part of the throat when we say those words. And we also learned that ha is the fifth in history, meaning in the history of the Arabic language, ha is the fifth letter, and it has the fifth numeric value point. So when we write this out, we can say alif, ba, jim, del, nam, ha. And so we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can learn the numeric value like that. Even if we forgot. If we remember abjad, hawaz, we got the first couple of them, right? And as we go through them, as long as you know that, you can follow the order. And know all the way up to 1,000. Okay? That's right. I'm going to show you how. So, hurt's a hurdle that we see with ha, the fifth in history. Everybody say history. Where's it going? It's from the throat. Where in the throat? The deepest part. Now, we feel it most around the heart. No, actually, we feel it most when we say heart. Say heart. You feel it now? And actually, you feel it go past the heart. So everybody say heart. You feel it coming up? Say heart. So, Hurts a hurdle that we see with ha, the fifth in history. Ha is different from ha, right? And these words help you recognize how to say the letter ha. Because all we have to say is hurt. All we have to say is hurdle. All we have to say is history. And then that sound, that same sound we make when we make these words, is the same one when we say ha. And it's from the throat, the deepest part. We feel it most when we say heart. Okay? Okay? Now, that lets us know already the makhraj and the numeric value of it. With hamsun rikhwun istifal, the ha comes out and starts to swell. Again, he's giving us the description of the letter. Of the letter. He says with hamsun rikhwun. Al-hams is a whispering sound. Everybody, go whisper. You hear that sound? That's somebody whispering. Say ha, ah. Say ah. You see that sounding? That's that hamsun. That's that rikhwun is this weakness. Rikhwun means something is not strong. Say ib. That's with strength, right? Now say ih. You see, that's weak. It slides all over the place. You can't stop it from coming. So it whispers out, and it has that rikhwun, that weak one, that weakness about it. Does that make sense? Yes. That, which is different from ij. Say ij. You see, you got control of that. It has strength when you do it. Right? But when you say ih, say it. You see, that's what that rikhwun and that hamsun is right there. Istifal. What does istifal mean, people?
Keep your tongue flat.
What?
Keep your tongue flat.
What?
Keep your tongue flat.
That's right. You keep your tongue flat. Say ih. Say ha. Who. He. Your tongue is flat. Now raise your tongue out. Say ha. Who. He. Is it supposed to be that way? No, the sheikh, he has a stick back there. He's been keeping from you when he does a tajweed class. He has to hold his hand before he comes out every time without getting that stick because he wants to beat you guys if you pronounce the letters incorrectly. You know what? أخذ بالتجويد حتم لازم من لم يجود القرآن آثم. So, and وهو إعطاء كل حرف حقه من صفة لها ومستحقه. And tajweed is to give each letter its right. You can't give it its right if you don't know what it is. Okay? So, you keep the tongue flat. The ha comes out and it starts to swell. It means it spreads out over your mouth. That's what it means to spread. Say ih. You see it spreading out as you open your mouth? Say ih. Goes all over. With fathun, samtun, has complete. So now, it has fath. You still open your mouth. You open your mouth like what? When it says fath, what do you open your mouth like? A doorway. That means you open it. You don't turn your mouth oval. You say ah. Say ha. You see that? You open your mouth completely. Ha. Okay. Samtun is you don't just let the air just flow. You show some restraint with that. Okay? You know what I mean? Say, and you control it as it spills out. So it tightens your stomach when you make that sound. Say eh. Whose stomach didn't get tight? You said your stomach didn't get tight? Okay. Has replete, and with idhar. Idhar here is the tajweed rule of ha and alif also. Yes, alhamdulillah. It is for alif, but it's also for ha. Okay? In fact, I'm going to tell you guys something. All the letters of the throat are like that. Have that idhar. But we'll get to that as we go later. You'll learn the letters of the throat. This is one of the letters in the throat, right? So now you have everything that you need to know. So let's recite it again. You have your paper. Let's go. Hurts a hurdle that we see with ha, the fifth. In history. It's from the throat, the deepest part. We feel it most when we say heart. With hamsun rikhwun istifal, the ha comes out and starts to swell. With fathun samtun has replete. And with idhar, the has very easy. Do I have any questions at this time? This type of class is very easy because all you have to do is pay attention and memorize. That's all you have to do. And what you're getting here in a lesson like this is so much. It is so much that you're getting here. That now you have everything that you need to succeed as a talibul ilm in learning how to recite Quran. This is a helper for the tajweed teacher. You know, so he can say, hey, you guys know this. Go recite it again 10 times over there. And then when you come back, if he starts to explain it to you, he can go at so much great detail explaining each one of these sifat. That's his job. You know? So teaching you exactly how to do that. But now you have a point where you can start from. Okay? So do your job now, make his job easier later on, and your learning go faster. You know, knowledge, it starts to snowball if you do the thing, if you get the usul. Man taraka al-usul, hurrima alayhi al-wusul. And so the ulama used to say, whoever left off, or they say, man dayya'a usul, or said, no, ma mana'ahum min al-wusul, illa dayyi'ihim al-usul. Nothing prevented them from arriving and achieving the things, the goals that they set for themselves, except that they wasted their time and didn't give the proper attention to the fundamentals. It's all about the fundamentals and getting them. So I say that and say that here, this is something that you can get the fundamentals from. Take it. Your job is only to do what? And pay attention. Memorize and pay attention. That's all you have to do. Do I have any questions at this time? If there are no questions for me, then I have a few questions for you. Give me a word that is in English that is similar to the word ha in Arabic. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Huh?
Harry.
Harry? Harry, that's good. Give me another one.
Heart.
Heart, give me another one.
Human.
Human, that's good.
Happy.
Happy? No.
House.
Happy is from the throat.
House.
Huh?
House.
House. Use the ones they gave you. House is good. That's real good.
Harder. History.
History, you can use all those. Okay, where is the ha pronounced from?
The deepest part of the throat.
Okay, where's the alif pronounced from?
There's the same place.
No, it's not the same place. Somewhere in the mouth,
We don't know.
right, it's not clear, it's ambiguous, right? Because the makhraj is of two types. Where's the makhraj of the ba?
Lips. Two lips.
Okay, the two lips, okay? What's the makhraj of the dal?
That is the back of the two back teeth.
Two buck teeth, right? Now take the tip and upper part of that thing you call and press it on your two buck teeth and place it on your gums. Okay, so the makhraj for the dal is where the teeth, the two buck teeth, and the gums meet, right? Remember this is very important. How do you pronounce jim?
From the middle of the tongue.
Now place it up, enunciate, and what? The jim one should be done, right? You take the jim and take the middle part of your tongue and raise it up, enunciate, and say ij. And the taking away, remember, it's the removing of the middle of your tongue from the roof of your mouth, which makes the sound. Everybody say ij. Can you make it without removing it from the roof of your mouth? Say id.
No, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Just like ib. Can we make it without closing our mouths? What do we have to do? We have to release it. How to release it? Gently or with shidda? Ib. What's going to happen to the ba? What happens? It blurts out its name, right? Let's hear the name of a ba. Pronounce it. No, ib. I want to hear that. Right, okay. So let me hear dal. What surah can you practice to practice the sound, the qalqala in dal? Let me hear it.
قل هو الله أحد الله
Allahu Samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad.
Is that okay, Sheikh? He's going to let you slide. He was twisted in his chair. He was, أقول قال هذا استغفر الله لي. Oh, sure, you can ask a question. Hakeem.
What is the tajweed rule of dal?
Dal?
Yeah.
What is it? It says, when dal the letter shows up right after a noon, sakina or tanwinan, iqlabun is the rule. Oh, that's ba. I'm sorry. Ba the letter shows up right after noon. The, what do you call it? So dal would be, now take the tip and upper part of that thing you call tongue and place it on your two buck teeth and place it on your tongue.
And press it on your
tongue, on your tongue. Place it on your gums.
Jahrun with the
shidda.
Fathun istifal, samtun and then
Qalqala.
qalqala at 4 Ya'u.
and you have dal.
Dal.
But when reciting Al-Quran, a rule we must adhere, when the dal comes after an, ikhfa'u, you must hear, or must be there. That's so it's ikhfa.
Ikhfa also for the...
These rules go through all the letters. Okay? I was trying to get... Okay. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم.